Welcome back to the Power and the Glory. Today's scripture is taken from the book of prophet Isaiah, chapter 42, verses 6 to 7. But before I read the scripture, please like, share and subscribe. It does make a huge difference to the Google algorithm. And thank you to my existing subscribers for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. So I'll read the scripture now. I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness and will hold your hand as a light to the Gentiles, to open blind eyes, to bring out prisoners from the prison, those who sit in darkness from the prison house. So these are two more verses that confirm the incredible nature of the book of prophet Isaiah. This book was written 700 years before the birth of Jesus, yet the scripture describes the divine assignment of the foretold Messiah, who's widely believed to be Jesus Christ, as the servant of the Lord. So God described here, and it's God speaking, by the way, how the Messiah will bring salvation, justice, and spiritual light to both Israel and the Gentiles. It's a promise is made by God that through his servant he will fill a new covenant between man and God, while the servant through his ministry will also open blind eyes and liberate those in spiritual bondage. So that being said, let's have a look at the key themes and key parts of the scripture in a bit more detail. Starting off with, I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness and will hold your hand. So God has summoned the presence of a faithful servant, who's Jesus Christ, to carry out God's righteous plans on earth. Then he says, I will keep you and give you as a covenant to the people. So the servant is not just designed to be a messenger of God, but is also empowered with creating a new covenant between man and God. In this case, through Jesus, God establishes a mediator between himself and mankind, one who pays the price for all mankind's sins once and for all, thereby removing the need to continue the ancient ritual of blood sacrifices. As a light to the Gentiles. So this line of scripture shows that the commission of the servant will be to intercede for sinners, dragging them from darkness and bring them into a light of spiritual illumination and hope. And this commission is dedicated to embrace the people of the world and not God's chosen people. To open blind eyes, to bring out prisoners from the prison, those who sit in darkness from the prison house. So the mission of the servant is one of freedom and deliverance from physical, spiritual and mental oppression. The reference to releasing prisoners from dark dungeons is an analogy to depict the deliverance from sin and satanic captivity. So this part of the scripture is all about breaking the shackles of limitation and prevent people from achieving their full potential. And that's one exciting facet of Jesus. He arrived here not to enslave us, but to free us from the bondage of sin and worldly values. So what are our key takeaways that we can use in our daily lives from the scripture? Well, the scripture is about both Jesus as a servant and us as God's servants. So it's about divine empowerment. In the same way as Jesus was spiritually sustained by God, so are we as God's servants. We are given divine power to bring light to the world. It's about a ministry of freedom and deliverance. And just like Jesus, we as Christians are commissioned to bring light into a dark world. And this means releasing people from the bondage of despair, depression, and a sinful lifestyle. Our goal as Christians is to bring people into righteous relationship with God, taking them from darkness into spiritual illumination.